DS4Ever. Welcome back. Gunna's probably one of the more consistent artists in the game when it comes to beat selection. Sometimes his flow can just carry him by itself. In a lot of ways, Gunna's actually underrated if you think about how he's one of the few artists to hit 1 billion streams. Pretty insane. I feel maybe Gunna just embodies a lot of really good artists in one person, but he also has a unique flow. Gunna can literally just ride any beat. And on top of that, his beat selection is usually top notch. Like, he doesn't really pick bad beats. That's something you can always look forward to on his album, meaning there's usually a few hits on here, and I wouldn't doubt it. Good branding. The cover is great. In terms of these reviews, I like to separate myself by being a little more critical, like what I wish they would have done. Does not mean I'm hating on the artist. Please keep that in mind. Also, just because I don't like your favorite song doesn't mean I'm not going to like something else that you like. So just drop your favorite record in the comments. All right, Gunna, DS4Ever. Here's the intro. Bow. Track 1, Private Island.
You know, bitches talk with you with a boss, we keep our business private. Ain't never fucked you on a private island. I fly G5 on all the sky mileage. I got some slimes out of Beehive, I know they dying by.
All right, I have so many feelings about this. First of all, I kind of ate my words a little bit because that was pretty good. I got to know him a little bit. I'm honestly just a little surprised that he let us in because I was just like saying he's not like that intellectual with it, but like he lets us in a little bit with lyrics. Then I'm thinking, okay, this is such a pop crossover in terms of like the guitar ballads and stuff. You can see this being like a really sad song in a movie, but then I'm thinking like, all right, so this is on the radio. Like, imagine your kid rapping this line. Like, this line is so unnecessary, but I love it. It's a good song. It's a super good song. Could have said anything else, Gunna, but I'm kind of surprised at how such a crossover that this is. It's kind of impressive because I did not expect it. Damn, for an intro, I don't know to say that he just played it safe or not because this is crazy. Good song, really good song. Kanye was not involved in the production of this song. Okay, debunked. Okay, track 2, Pushing P.
Push, she turn PSBN. Push a P. I'm push a P.
PSBN.
Push a P. Yeah. Push a P. Push a P. I'm push a.
Yo, this is dope. This beat is super good. To be completely honest with you, out of everybody, if I could pick any artist that I wish was on this record, it really might have been Jeezy. Jeezy was the first one that came to mind. The whole idea that Pushin' P is like an ad-lib, it's like a bounce. The whole record is this bounce, all because of the Pushin' P vibe. I fuck with this heavy. This one's really cool. I play this out just for the hook. The flute in the hook, that's really high-pitched. I like that. Pretty cool. I think this was mixed really well because I could see some of these instruments being annoying if you didn't like it, but this was mixed like really, really well. I don't get annoyed by this song. They don't really overdo it. The only reason I noticed when Thug came in is because it was like a little kind of mumbling with this little, I'm like, that sounds like Thug. Thug has a weird way of coming in without saying anything sometimes. Just kind of bouncing with some syllables. It's kind of like using a bunch of ad-libs for fillers and stuff. But I like it because it allows him to change up the flow. So nicely done. Everything's well placed on this record. Like, I like the songwriting. I like all the ad-libs. It's nice that people can make stuff that's like this redundant and it's still good. Like, just because you see something like this, you might assume, it's trash. Not true. Not true. You could argue the beat carried this record and it's super repetitive, but it's still a really good, easy listening hip-hop record. I like it. Everybody carried themselves well on this, and I think that's why this kind of stood out to me already. This is a good album. This is a super good album. Track 3, Poochie Gown.
Southside on the track.
All facts, nigga. Metro with the stem. If he says trim, hey your butter rim.
I don't know what to say about this one. To be honest, if you're gonna diss somebody though, like, it better be a really good record. You can't just like jab at them in a subpar kind of track. That's my only opinion on this one. This one didn't even stick out to me. I didn't even hear this line. I had to go back and like read and like scroll to see if he said anything worth mentioning, because I didn't even really notice this line. It wasn't that hard. I get it. The beef might be good for Gunna and his career, but I did not understand the point of that one. I mean, is Gunna trying to say he's a better rapper? Rich kids trying to get next to me, know your chance is slim. Slim. Is that even a jab? Would you consider that a continuous Freddie jab? I don't know. I'm still taking Gibbs in the raps. Sure, you could argue streams and sales and how big Gunna is. He probably feels not even a comparison, but I mean, I'll keep it real. I'm not listening to Freddie Gibbs. I'm doing a Gunna review right now, and I'm still gonna bet my money that Freddie Gibbs is a better rapper. So I don't know, man. Conflicted on this because I feel like they're in two different, completely different lanes. Very interesting beef. They might both equally benefit from this. This is like Tech 9 beefing with like Kodak Black, or Immortal Technique beefing with the Island Boys. That's what it kind of feels like. That's a little extreme. I get it, but it just seems like intellectual rap versus not. Like boom bap versus modern in a sense also. So that's my comparison. Track 4.
Yeah, she said ain't no teeth on your car. You took the words right out my mouth. I took the bitch out of her county. I dropped that bitch off on the south. I know that I love her face, and now she look like a cow.
Even though this record isn't my favorite, this is like a super original song, and I like that artists are doing this more. In terms of like sharing the verses and cutting in and out, and everybody does their own version of the hook, that's badass. I honestly wish more artists did that when it comes to like collaborations on their albums and their projects, instead of just one and done. Like there were 6 verses on this thing. I didn't mind any of this. It's not my favorite song, but this is a super good track. We still got to give this up. We'll give it up for originality. Super original. Super original. Even if this isn't my favorite, we still need more songs like this. Good attempt. And now she looked like a cow is the best line so far on this album. Hey, just remember that they all had to agree to say this. So this is a consensus when it comes to the songwriting on this record. And now she looked like a cow. Track 5, Thought I Was Playing. Mike Will and 21.
These boys a bunch of pussies, they no different than a trend.
Clearly 21 kills this record. He carries them. Hook is cool. I don't mind listening to it. The beat is cool. In terms of making this record better, maybe the synth. You know, I wasn't the biggest fan of the beat, but 21 carried it. Like, this is one of those records where the flows are kind of most important, most in the front of everything. SF90 Costa M dumped his Glock like Ye did Kim. Oh, man. Like, do we have to go there? Do I need to explain this line? It's unreviewed. Bar meaning dumping a Glock, emptying the clip, divorcing. Dang. Who beat me to it? What's your name? Who beat me to it? Hip-hop fan. You got me. Thank you for that. Track 6, How You Did That. Oh, this one's going to be good.
I seen that duck turn to a Louis.
How you did that?
That look like a brand new booty.
How you did that?
You got face.
Ridiculous. But who's on this? Like, okay. Produced by, oh, we got Herbo. I had to know. I'm like, who produced this? This is so good. I need to know the credits on this. This one stood out. This is a good one. Yeah, this one gonna go. Good job, Kodak. Need I say more? This is the best beat. I'm hype as fuck. How you did that. Like I was saying, though, pretty glad that they're doing the back and forth, you know, the call response. I was literally just saying I wish that more people would do that, and they did it again. Super cool. The back and forth, loving it. Still my favorite record. This one hasn't not been looked up as much as the other records on here, you know, which is kind of interesting. But I still feel like this is a standout record that's probably not going to get enough attention. But we'll keep going. Maybe that's a good sign. That could be a good sign, right? That there's better shit on here. Pretty impressed. This Future record was pretty poppin', apparently. Pushin' P was good. I did say it was good. All right, track 7, a lot of cake. Wow, these lyrics are killing me already. Vertebrate, fornicate. Wow.
What is this? Vertebrae, diamonds, cardiac,
Pocket fat, overweight, cannabis, meditate, overseas, out of state. I like this one a lot. Thug on the intro and Thug on the outro for one. Okay. I like that it was predictable. You know, I was making fun of it at the beginning, but that's cool. This ended up being a really good track, actually. In the most, like, respectful way, I'm surprised that Gunna can say such simple things, like really simplistic shit, and make it sound so dope. If I read these lyrics, fornicate and vertebrate, how are you going to make that sound cool? But he does it. He always surprises me. Gunna is like a super good example of being predictable, but also pulling it off. He does what you think he's going to do, but then he don't mind it. Because, like, some people can just be too predictable, and it's just like, yeah, we knew. Like, but do something else. Nah, you can listen to Gunna do the same thing, and he still just kind of like does it differently, does it in a new way, reinvents himself. So not to hate on him at all, it's just a very good example of somebody using simplistic songwriting to their advantage. I like it. I super like it. I admire it. He doesn't overthink it. The fact that Gunna doesn't really overthink his songwriting is probably why he's able to crank out so much music. Compared to a lot of other artists, I think that work ethic is why he probably stands out to the hip hop community. Whenever you're making so much music, you have to eventually compile so many hits that you put aside from recording so much, aka work ethic. Track 8, Living Wild.
Look up to see stars, but I'm realizing God in the ceiling. I've been getting high and consistent, but you trying to show me different. Judging me for trying to whip it, I'm tired of the critics.
Damn, that was so sad, man. I wish, as sad as this song is, I really do wish this song was longer. Damn. All right, let's go through it. All right, so clearly Gunna's drinking. It's probably hard, to just go cold turkey because he's trying to say, like, his body's adapted to these drugs. It's hard to show his feelings. He's realizing, like, he's probably talking to God, having moments in, like, his morality, getting high and consistent, trying to show me different, judging me for the whippets, tired of the critics. I mean, yeah, Gunna. You're right. But at least you're acknowledging that you need help. But definitely people were judging you for that. You're not wrong. I want to know my reason or why I have my reasons. Super cool line. It's as deep as I've seen Gunna get. Got to give him his credit for getting personal and, going into his emotional bag there. Because I don't really ever see this side of Gunna very much. And to still keep it dope with the flows and the melodies. Very impressed with his ability to deliver a message here. I don't really know what this one means. Hold up. Gunna was sent to the hospital diagnosed with pneumonia. Reason why they ain't tell me it was pneumonia season. I don't really know who's to blame on that one. That's a real touchy one, man. Ouch. I like that as sad and as deep as this is, he has this whole take it easy, keep it cheesy, like he still gets back into his flow and then still comes back and makes it personal. So he does find a way to keep it like playful, but then come back and touch on his feelings. I really like this record. It's super emotional, really sad. If we ever look back at Gunna's career, this might be like that relapse record where he's struggling, with addiction. It's pretty eye-opening. I think if he could advocate for anything, this might be that record. He has a hard time expressing how he's really feeling or going through things, and he might be able to use this record as a reference. And this is what I meant by saying he's usually not that deep or intellectual of a rapper, but the fact that he lets us get some insight into his life now, which I'm glad he's evolving into that, because he could easily just be the gimmick and just make the playful club records. But yeah, this is just more reconfirmation of who Gunna really is as an artist. The record really does go to show that Gunna is more than just some kind of pop, trap, mainstream rapper here to sell records. The fact that he can finally let us in, I'm glad that he's evolving into more than just the gimmick that we've all kind of known him for. Track 9, You and Me.
I fuck you right, I will. I fuck you right, I will.
I'm going to go ahead and say this record's more for the females. There's nothing wrong with that. It's not a bad song. This is very easy listening. Wouldn't mind playing it in the background. Probably more of the record oriented toward females. And that's fine, Gorna, wow. But that's good. There's something that you can probably listen to on this album. Even though this record wasn't for me, this album's still turning out to be a lot better than I anticipated, and especially compared to a lot of other artists' albums in the last year, at least for 2021. I also didn't really examine this album cover before, but it's like a statue with like crystals breaking under it. It's pretty freaking cool. The idea of how like stoic it is, like trapped in time, like he is capturing a moment in what this is. It's very symbolic, in my opinion. Kind of ties into the album title too. So, you symbolize a statue meaning forever. So it does feel like this ties in appropriately with the album cover and the title and the music. This is turning out to be pretty timeless of a record for him. We'll see how he does in terms of the track listing here. Track 10, South to West.
All of my business, little bitches relax. She done got way too attached. Notice they might cut their waist as a snack.
The only thing I'm going to say about this song, out of all of them, this is the one beat where I think it was such a good beat he didn't actually live up to it. Like, he could have done something way better than this. That's just my opinion. Super amazing song. I just wish that he took his time with this one a little bit more. He could have been a little more creative, I feel. This one had a lot more potential. And to give him credit, though, this is a super long verse. This might have even originally been like a freestyle, and he was just like, you know what, throw a verse on it and then just repeat this part and call it a song. But yeah, I don't mind this one. I think the only reason I feel like this is because of how epic the intro was. I just wanted a little bit more from this record, but besides that, this is a good song. 25K Jacket featuring Lil Baby.
We ain't nothing like these other rappers. Weirdo, you be trying to say what she get at him. Hero, me ain't gonna going back to back. Here it go.
I'm kind of surprised you got the Lil Baby stimmy. Got the Lil Baby stimmy and didn't deliver on this one. This wasn't the one for me. I'm gonna see what y'all think. What do y'all think? Yeah, there's about 6 or 7, 8 more tracks that are higher ranked than that Lil Baby record. I mean, look at the next one. The next one has 3 or 4 times as many views over here. So I just gotta say that Lil Baby stimmy on that record, it wasn't it. That wasn't it. We expected more from that one. I hope y'all agree on that. I mean, from what it looks like, nobody cared as much as that one. Clearly, there are worse records on this project. Stand out though. All right, Too Easy. I'm kind of excited. Yeah, I forgot this song was one of the singles last year. I was scrolling up here and realizing it a minute ago. Not my favorite. Not my favorite. Good song. Just, there's better records on here. There's a lot of songs on here. Can you really be that upset? I think Future actually carried that one a little bit more than Gunna did. Curious what you guys think. Track 13, I Don't Know That Beat, featuring Herbo.
Wipe that pussy nose cause I'm with slime now. He was supposed to been there for we distance, they can't find him. Loving like you discover her, we just missed the bitch, remind him.
I don't know you love that bitch, you don't know that bitch. That's like having set prices on a diamond brick.
The two things I really like the most out of this song is probably like the song structure, because the beat falls out when the hook comes back in and it's kind of like no drum. Love that. Really cool, keeps it interesting. How the hell you love that beat? You don't know that beat. Like I said, there's nothing too deep on these records in terms of like learning anything crazy. This is just something to like get down to. The one thing that stuck out to me was I think a lot of artists come close to sounding kind of like Herbo, but he's still kind of distinct. There's something a little bit different about Herbo's voice that I kind of like. I kind of fuck with it. If y'all got any Herbo track you think I should check out, drop them in the comments. Track 14, Flooded.
Cubits and bracelets and anklets. Flooded.
Oh, it's it.
Stone in my teeth like they braces. Flooded. Gold diamond chains on the new Mr. T. All this ice on me, I could go and ski.
All right, I don't know if this is the one. This might be the most underrated one on here. Yeah, it looks like it. No one's looking up lyrics to this shit. Okay, this one's super simple. I get it, 14,000, but come on, guys. Come on, give the man some props. This one's actually pretty good. I'm surprised if y'all didn't make it this far down the track listings. I think Flooded might be one of the more underrated records. I like what he did with this one. Dang, I wish I had more to say. I really wish I had more to say. I would add this record just for the beat. The beat just kind of like fakes you out because you think it's like some R&B and then it comes in and turns into some trap shit. But I love that he doesn't like go overboard with the flow. He kind of just chills on this, rides the beat. Another classic example of Gunna's versatility. Not gonna lie. I'm really impressed with this record. Underrated record. Track 15, Life is Sin.
I can't break the code, I will never fold. We gon' push to open up these doors. Big business.
This beat's definitely one of my more favorite beats on the actual project. If there was one artist that I wanted on this record, Rick Ross would have been tight. Just the whole pianos, the breakdowns, the traps, how slow it kind of is, but it still has this like driving, inspirational kind of vibe to it. Regardless of what I think, I'm still kind of just glad that Gunna lets you in a little bit. You know, he doesn't let you in too much on these records, but it's not as flashy as his other ones. This is for sure a good song. Even though that I still say that this isn't my favorite and it's only got 11,000 views in terms of the lyrics, you gotta admit that these are still pretty good records even if you wanted to like really consider them filler content, which I don't think they are. Die Alone. Oh, we got Chris Brown. And Young Bleu? Young Bleu got the standout verse for sure. Oh, wait. Oh, we got more Chris? We got Chris? Hold on.
No more second chances. I don't wanna die alone. You can take my soul for ransom. That bitch tsunami, she be waiting. I pressed into it, it's a Wi-Fi.
So dramatic. So dramatic. So many liberties there, Chris. Too many liberties. We're going to give Young Bleu the best verse. You know, you started off great, but took a few too many liberties right here. In the Wipeout. To be honest, this might be one of the more mainstream records on here. As slow as it was, as kind of lewd as it was in terms of the lyrics, this actually might be the radio record, even though they're talking about, you know, drugs and the Drake. That's fine. I'm just trying to point it out. This is kind of the more safe record on the album. I'm kind of surprised because I think the lyrics and the delivery and the flow stuck out more than anything, in my opinion. I didn't think the beat was super special, but the lyrics and the storytelling, of course, the Chris Brown feature, everything else held its ground pretty well. I just don't think that the beat is why we're going to be replaying this song. But this is a good record. We're almost done here. Track 17, Missing Me. I was hoping that you noticed me. Well, Gunna, this track wasn't for me. So far ahead. Empire.
Rich man, I was a poor boy. Super lit with rich friends, that Cooper Chrome toy. I'm booked that way in Germany, and the price is getting higher.
I'm definitely going to give Gunna his credit for being such a ballad type of artist. He can literally just bust out a guitar and start rapping this record, which is pretty fucking cool. You know, he's trying to do his storytelling, kind of hoping that this proves my point when I say that his lyrics aren't super deep, but he's able to ride the beats with his flows that it always makes up for it. Just go ahead and read these lyrics and look through them. Like, he's not really giving you anything to go with or live your life by. Is Gunna really teaching you any life lessons by telling you he's booked in Germany with prices getting higher? Like, just consider the lyrics. So all I'm asking you is just consider the lyrics and what kind of artist he is. I just really want to acknowledge that Gunna is extremely prolific when it comes to the simple songwriting. He doesn't really need to like make you think too much. It's kind of crazy to think Gunna is like the corporate pop rapper in the sense of he can make you content and happy and kind of give you nothing at the same time. It's kind of crazy. And it's not bad. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. It's just a very specific type of mainstream artist. He's very mainstream appealing. His whole sound, his image, everything about Gunna kind of just transcends the culture. Got one more record and I'll break this down, but I don't know if this Too Easy remix even counts. Nah, well, we got Roddy on here. We got Roddy on here.
Weezy one of Pluto.
I forgot Roddy Ricch didn't live up to the hype with the album. Totally forgot. Not worth it. So in conclusion, Gunna doesn't strike me as one of those artists who couldn't ever just bounce back with a hit. Gunna is another great example of an artist who has a remarkable work ethic. The project overall is extremely good. I'm going to give this an 8.5. This one's a really hard project to grade. Like, I almost want to give it a 9 for how many hits was actually on this project. But if he would have taken out some of these records and just left the ones that were just undeniably good, I'd probably rank this record higher. So this has to be like this. I hate to give this the same grading as like Nas's album. So this is like an 8.2, 8.3. This could have been a little bit more. The beats and the flow, more than anything, is what Gunna has always been known for. He does not let you down on this project. There's got to be a handful of songs that you don't mind listening to. There's definitely something to be said about Gunna's ability to navigate with such simplistic lyrics and stay relevant over all these years. Gunna feels like the ideal corporate artist. If you needed somebody to sell you something, I feel like Gunna can sell you anything, like literally anything. He feels like the perfect corporate artist where you can bring him any brand and he'll just find a way to like weasel it into his raps, like in the most nonchalant way. It's definitely not fair to say that Gunna is underrated or overrated. I kind of feel Gunna is properly rated. And in terms of all the streams that he's getting, 1 billion streams is pretty insane. Work ethic is a great example. It has a lot to do with it. Another thing is, wouldn't be surprised if Gunna eventually started to move into that A&R realm, because he clearly has a great ear for music and beats, undeniable. I would not be surprised if he was defined the next artist, the next people that are going to be way bigger than him. And I'm kind of fearful that maybe Gunna might have an ego and might not care to like invest his time and effort and money into other artists. Because if you see his lyrics, he kind of brags that he could do that and doesn't, and he won't. But I do hope that he doesn't get played out and maybe people get tired of him. Gunna's on everything. Gunna reminds me of like T-Pain because he's on every record. So I do hope he eventually branches out and finds other artists who he's affiliated with, you know, like Young Thug, the whole group. That group's only going to get bigger over time. Whether Gunna has the time, patience, or knowledge to blow up somebody else under him, maybe not. It would only be in Gunna's best interest to eventually find the next generation of artists or executives, business-minded people that could help him roll out an actual label, a publishing company. Maybe he already has all this and he just wants to do it himself, because I understand there's a lot you're undertaking by putting an artist under you. But I do feel Gunna is at a pinnacle in his career where it would be pretty important for him to start to pivot or navigate into something else besides music. I'm only saying that because I would hate for him to start to go downhill. I think he could make a lot more money as an executive. I think Gunna's ear is so much more valuable than his actual voice. And I don't think I've ever said that about any artist. All right, I drop a new video every single day. Make sure you like and subscribe. I'm Joe Cat. We out.